So, I just purchased my first ever film camera. Hey, I mean,
it's cute.
that is about as good looking as a camera can get, I think. Would you agree? It looks pretty good.
It does. How cool.
So that unboxing that you just seen was a couple of months ago at this point. In between now and then, I did get myself a roll of Porta 160, and over the last couple of months, I have just been out and about trying to get out while the weather wasn't really bad, which was quite a bit during the last couple of months. So it was a struggle to get out during nice conditions, and yeah, I just took my time. I wanted to take my time with the first roll in the camera, and I wanted to try and get sort of at least decent results if I could. Obviously, it's my first time taking film photos. The whole process was a learning experience, and I just didn't want to go out and snap photos of just everything and anything just to get a roll finished, even though I had no idea if the camera was going to work properly or not. So it might have been stupid, I don't know, but I wanted to take my time and try and get a roll that I was at least sort of happy with, because you can't retake your first roll of film, and I sort of I wanted to have a good feeling when I seen them from the first roll, but that was my thought process. So I did manage to finish that first roll after quite a while and quite a few trips out, and I actually sent it away last week to get developed, and I just received the digital copies, the scans back yesterday. I haven't actually seen them yet, so I wanted to wait for this video to actually react to them, and that's what we're gonna do. So for the first shot, I rolled up.
I roll up.
Rolled
I
up.
roll up.
I did not roll up. So for the first shot, I loaded up the roll of Porta 160, and we took a little walk to a very colourful forest trail. Okay, well, just took my first ever film photo, and that was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. For a start, the metering situation, I've watched a good few videos on it. That was difficult. I'm not sure how low I can go shutter speed wise without there being motion blur. And then because of the TLR thing and it's inverted, I've messed around with it a little bit with Christina at home, like pretending I'm going to take a portrait. It seemed much easier than it did this time when I was actually trying to frame something. It is super unnatural, but I mean, first photo, if that comes out, I'll be quite surprised, but I have to start somewhere. So this being the first photo that I took, and I took quite a while to take this one. As you've seen, very tricky with the whole inverted scenario and the focusing. And yeah, the focus is, I think it's there, but there's definitely motion blur. I knew there would be. I think I took this, I don't know if I said.
I think it was 30.
It was 1/30th of a second. It was quite dull, and yeah, I sort of knew there was gonna be motion blur in this one, but
it's the first one.
I went for it anyway, and yeah, like I said, I think I actually got the focus where it is, but there's that much motion blur that it sort of looks almost out of focus.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I had to try it out. I also wanted to sort of see if 130 would be as blurry, or would I be able to shoot handheld at that speed. So yeah, I wanted to try a few things out during this roll as well. But yeah, also the colors are totally different than what it looked like there.
Yeah, they are.
It is nowhere near as colorful as what it was. Obviously, I've watched quite a few videos from different people on this, and I know that the way they scan it and stuff is a huge part of how the actual end result turns out. So I will tweak these a little bit in editing as well, because a lot of the film photographers I watch do this, and they say that when they're scanning and making your photo and stuff, they're essentially editing the photo a little bit too. So you want to kind of get it back to what I seen at the time, and hopefully I will be able to do that. So yeah, I'll drop a little edit of this photo on screen as well, as I will with all the other ones too. Definitely learn. Probably not to shoot 1/30th again, but I mean, the framing and all is kind of what I was going for. It looks actually straight, which was the biggest problem.
It does actually, now that you mention it.
The fence poles and everything are probably as straight as they could be.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It is what it is. First photo
there it is.
On a roll of film.
Photo number 1.
I can never retake the first photo again.
So for the second shot, I think it was the second shot as far as I can remember, if my memory is correct. We took a little walk down to the beach, and Chris actually took a portrait of me. That lighting just did you a big favor.
Yeah, the lighting. This was one of the photos in the roll where we did get good lighting. We were actually wandering around for a while, and I just seen the light hitting side of Christina's face. I was like, I want to take one now, because this is.
But it literally kept disappearing. Do you remember? It kept going away, and then it came back for a split second.
Waiting. I had the camera out, focused, and then it would go away, and then it would come back, but. Oh, I think I slightly missed focused on this one, but there is no motion blur. I mean, it's hard to tell because obviously I haven't took film photos before, so I don't know how sharp they would be zooming in. A lot. I'm zooming in quite a bit here, just looking at them. But
like my jumper seems pretty. Yeah, like my clothes.
I think I maybe slightly missed it, but from a distance. I really like how this one looks. The colors and everything are quite accurate in this one. Film just has a really soft look to it. Like that almost looks like a photo that has already been edited.
Yeah.
And stuff, which is cool. But yeah, I like how this one turned out.
Me too, actually.
Focusing with the manual focus is just so hard, especially when someone's standing, because if you move like ever so slightly, you're gonna be slightly out of focus. Yeah. And obviously, I was shooting these at probably the lowest aperture I could, because I was shooting Porta 160, which I've kind of learned is probably not the greatest, especially if it's like dull in any way, like overcast and stuff, because you just have to have your shutter speed too low to be shooting handheld. But yeah, pretty happy with that one.
I'm happy with that one.
That's cool.
That looks good.
So for the third photo, I just took another little stroll towards the beach, and I seen this house on side of the road down towards the beach, and it just has a really unique look to it. It's like a nice wooden fence out the front, just kind of stands out a little bit, and the light was sort of hitting it at the time, or at least I think it was, if I can remember back, and I just thought it made for a cool looking photo, or I hoped it would, so I snapped a photo of it. Okay, so the light definitely wasn't hitting it at this point. It wasn't bad, but again, very overcast, which is the case for most of the photos, I think. on this roll, but yeah, the colors didn't come out just as nice as it was at the time, I don't think. But like, again, I will adjust that. Like I said earlier, I will adjust that a little bit. But I like the depth and stuff. It's that look with the medium format that I just really like. And yeah, it's not bad. I think the horizon and stuff is pretty decent on this one, which is just tricky with that camera.
Yeah, it looks pretty straight. It is. I like the framing and stuff of the house, but kind of can't stop staring at that bird shit.
Yeah, a bird. I don't know how I didn't see that, but a bird decided to ruin my photo, so I will definitely be cloning that out. But yeah, the light was hitting it at one point. I think I just waited around and it didn't come back, so I took the photo anyway. But you can kind of see what I was going for. Again, with focus, I'm not sure how sharp the lens actually is. I've heard that it is very sharp in this camera, but I believe I was taking this at 1/60th again. So that might be the reason why it's just not super sharp, but I'll have to wait and see. Cool house though. Not bad. So the next shot was again at the beach. I'm not sure if it was the same day as the last photo or not, but same area. I actually went down onto the beach this time. Really dodgy weather. It was raining on and off, so I wasn't sure if I was going to take any, but I did spot the beach hut. There's a few of them, sort of little lifeguard huts that be along the beaches up here in the north coast, and they just look cool. They're just one of those things that it's kind of hard not to photograph them. Yeah, it was all backlit and stuff, and I just thought I would give it a go. There's little posts with a little wooden rope along them that was cool in the foreground, and all the grass and stuff, so I lined one up and snapped a photo of that. Okay, so this turned out, framing wise and everything, right as I hoped it would.
That's really cool photo. I like that.
The foreground and stuff with the little poles and the grass and stuff was exactly what I was going for, and the backlighting just looks pretty damn nice, like a nice glow, sort of like a halo behind it, and seems like I exposed it pretty spot on, I think.
Is it in focus though?
Yeah, that is the only thing. Again, I'm not sure what I shot this at. I probably should have wrote it down at the time.
Yeah.
But I believe it was probably 1/60th again, because it was quite dull and I don't think I was able to get as high as 1/25th. So I was probably at like f3.5 or f4, quite low. So I'm not sure. Again, I'll have to look it up and share some photos and stuff with people. I'm not sure how sharp this lens is. Also, with the TLR thing and there being two lenses, I have heard that sometimes there can be a slight difference between what you're seeing in focus in one lens and then the taken lens, which takes the photo, being slightly different. But I'm not sure. But everything apart from that, I do like. So
yeah, me too.
It's just a learning process, but yeah, not bad at all. So the next two shots are actually shot at the same time, and it's of this very old little bench that is along a path towards the beach.
If you didn't already know, Chris loves a bench.
I just love, yeah, old stuff, and this little bench is really old looking. I don't know how long it's been there, but it is old looking, and yeah, I was just wandered down to it, and the lighting wasn't too bad for this one. It was sort of lighting up town in the background. I done two variations of the shot, one with the chair in focus, or the seat, bench, whatever you want to call it, in focus, and then another one where I sort of shot past it, and I was hoping to sort of blur it out in the foreground and just try a different look, just to see what I could do. Okay, this is obviously the one that I focused on the town in the background, or at least I tried to. Again, the focus thing is the thing I'm not sure about. I believe I probably shot this at 1/60th, 1/25th at the highest for these shots. And I believe I focused to infinity when the background's that far away. I believe I'm focusing as far away as the camera allows. It just stops, and to me it looks like it's in focus. Again, not sure. Not sure if that's actually in focus or a combination of that and motion blur, or it's out of focus. I do like the photo. kind of like the colours a bit more in this one
That
because
bench is old.
yeah, that is an old bench.
Who is sitting on that thing?
Not sure, there's just 2 planks on it. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a third. But I like the photo. I like the. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably should have been a little bit higher so that the bench was over the grass instead of kind of over the water too.
I think the bench in focus might look better. Can we see that one?
Yeah, I do like the colours in this one though. Bit better lighting, and the Porta just seems to give the results that I kind of like a lot more. So,
Hey,
yay, there we go. Definitely
Yeah, I
better.
prefer that one.
Definitely better colours. Probably better framing with this one too.
Such a nice sky.
Yeah, actually got a nice sky, which is a rare thing up here as we found out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the colours and stuff in this one. And this is kind of close to what I've seen Porta look like. And this is sort of what I was hoping I could get the shots to look like. That sort of warm look with the, sort of natural, sort of warm look to it. And I focused on the bench in this one. And this time, it does look like it's sharp to me. I think there might be the tiniest little bit of motion blur. Again, I can't remember what I was shooting at shutter-wise, but it certainly wasn't too high. But the bench is
No, definitely. You can see all the detail in the wood.
the bench is definitely in focus in this one. At least I got the focus in one of them that I know it works. There isn't something totally wrong, but definitely tricky though with the TLR scenario. But yeah, I like that one. Probably the best one yet. Although I do like yours, but that one's actually in focus properly. So
Yeah, I think I agree.
technically probably the best one.
Okay, so I think we'll just skip this next one because I'm pretty sure it's the one that I took of you at the beach.
You
and
never
I just know. I just know now that I've seen even the photos before that, I just know that there's no way that was in focus. It can't be.
I mean, if you got it in focus, fair play, because like we've seen, it's a little bit tricky. Again with this one, it was quite dull, so I'm not sure what your shot was.
I can't remember.
It was probably 1/60th again. So yeah, tough enough to get focus. Definitely harder to hold it and not have any motion at that shutter speed, or so it seems anyway. So. How was your first film photo with that camera?
Oh my god, it's so very difficult. I mean, it just takes a little getting used to, I think. Like, it's a lot of getting used to it. But I think once you're used to it, it'll be a lot easier because, you know, there's not a whole lot of things that you have to do. You just have to make sure everything's set correctly and then you're good. But yeah, getting used to the inverted thing was fun. The focus was fun. Could be a whole waste of a photo, but I don't know. It was a good first try.
There I am. I tell you what. Well, yeah, it's.
Why is it so faded looking?
So, the faded, I believe it's underexposed a bit, and when they scan it, they try and bring the detail back out. So I would sort of have to correct that, which is why I'll post some edited ones, like I said, to get the sort of contrast back to the way it should be. I kind of like the actual framing and stuff of it. It's a cool photo.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's. I'm pretty sure it's not in focus, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so either. Zoom into your hand.
I mean, the camera looks more in focus.
Yeah, definitely
than my
your
face. It's such a fine line,
actually.
especially when we're shooting at probably the lowest aperture. I would say this was shot at. It is a fine line. It's not easy, but I do like the photo.
Hey, it was a good first try.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Framing wise, it's all good and stuff.
Awful.
Okay, so the next 2 photos were took at Mossadin Temple, actually in the downhill house, but yeah, I just had to go there to try a photo. I just love how that place looks. Was wandering around for a little while. Again, a very overcast day, lots of rain on and off, so I wasn't sure I was going to get one at all, but I wandered around a little bit, and through the actual window of one of the windows in the downhill house, you can kind of see, I believe it's Castle Rock.
Yeah.
I think.
Quite
I
cool.
sort of framed up a shot, I actually used the tripod for this one, and it was my first time using the little timer on the Yashica, which is just very handy and kind of cool that it even has that. So that was my first time trying it out. And what I did was, obviously I framed it up, focused and everything, looking down at the ground glass and set the timer. And I was looking at the ground glass waiting to see the like shutter close to make sure it actually worked. Obviously you can't because you're looking through a different lens, so I was never going to see the shutter closing because I wasn't looking through the lens. It was actually taking the photo. So I kind of realized that after, and I was like, okay, I'm not really sure if that
you
worked.
weren't sure if it worked?
So I'm just going to take another one.
Did you not hear it?
I kind of, but I wasn't sure if the timer had worked. Amateur rookie mistakes, but yeah.
So you took 2?
I did. I'm not sure in what order, but let's go with the one that looks slightly worse off first. So I can't remember the settings. I should have wrote them down. Not sure what I exposed this one for, but the lighting was changing. It was kind of like more bluer, and yeah, framing wise and all, I was trying to kind of frame the pier and the thing through the window, which worked.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like the framing of it, obviously underexposed, and I'd have to correct a lot of that. Again, with the focusing, I have no idea whether that is in focus or not. It doesn't look like it is to me. Let's jump over to the other one.
Yeah, let's
might have a
see.
better idea. Bit better expose this one. I'm not sure what I shot this at, aperture wise. Definitely looks more in focus. This looks in focus.
Was it misty?
Not really.
No.
I probably overexposed that one. I'm not sure. But it has the idea I was going for.
Cool shot though, I do like it.
Yeah, I like the idea. I'll maybe go back and take that one again, but yeah.
My eyes are all worried, I just had a yawn. So the next 2 photos were actually took at the same place, and we took a little trip to Carrigareed. Ooh, it's very purple.
Yeah, it's got a real. This one has a real tint to it. I'm not sure. I don't think I underexposed this because I was actually using the tripod for this one, so it's interesting that it has that
Oh yeah, you did.
real purpley tint to it. I think I was probably shooting these ones at a higher aperture, probably like f8 or something, but I'm not sure. I did have it in the tripod, so the shutter speed wasn't a problem. But yeah, definitely has a strange tint to it, like a purpley sort of bluey look to it. There's no warmth in it whatsoever.
At all.
Although, I mean, we were just after golden hour. You can see sort of the clouds have still got a little bit of the light in it. I did focus to probably infinity again on this one, a higher aperture, and this is definitely sharper looking than the other ones were, which is nice to see because at least something's working somewhere. That's definitely in focus. But yeah, definitely has a weird tint to it, but I did take another one as well, so let's see what it's like. So
Wow,
looks
totally
very,
different.
very different. So yeah,
That's crazy.
from what I've seen, underexposing or just changes in exposure can add tints to the film and stuff, and then also the scanning too. But this time though, it looks like this one is not as in focus.
No, it looks like the focus is a bit.
It looks like the
Closer.
focus is closer. But yeah, the colors are definitely closer to what it was. Probably not as warm as it looked, but I'm not sure. I was kind of finding it hard to know what photo to take when I was here, and tried this one just because it looked cool to the eye. It's not bad, but yeah, all a learning curve. For the last photo, I did kind of want to finish the roll. I took so long to finish it. I wasn't sure what to take the last photo of, but I knew I sort of wanted to take a self-portrait in some way or other, just because It's actually a thing with the TLR cameras. There's a photographer that done it. I can't remember her name, but everybody kind of does it, and I thought it would be cool just on my first roll to take a self-portrait. And I took one in the car because I couldn't find a better spot to do it. To be fair, this one actually does look quite sharp. I may have slightly missed it, but it's kind of cool. I mean, the framing's not great of it, but it is a self-portrait. It is in a mirror, and
you look like you're like
trying to focus.
I don't know. You're having trouble doing something. You're like, what's
I
going
was
on?
having trouble getting the thing far enough out to be able to see myself, but there's my version of a self-portrait. I'll probably crop in a little bit or something, but it is what it is. And that is the end of that first roll of film on my first
It's done.
ever film camera.
It's complete.
Yeah, I didn't even know if I was ever going to get a film camera. I knew I kind of liked the idea of it. I definitely did not think that this would be my first film camera. I don't know. I love it. I love using it. The whole process is just so much slower. It's definitely a lot harder, but even just reacting to these,
I think a lot more rewarding though.
it's definitely a lot more rewarding and satisfying to do. Obviously all these photos didn't turn out. I didn't expect them all to turn out perfectly at all. It was a lot of trial and error. It's fun to sort of react to them, and I get why people get excited getting the roll of film back every time, because it is just different. You don't get carried away with taking 100 photos of one thing and trying to get it totally perfect. Yeah, just a different experience, but a fun one. I'm definitely never going to get sick of looking at this camera.
Well, I think considering it was the first roll, I think you got some nice shots in there.
Not too
There's
bad.
a few.
Not too bad. I've definitely learned some stuff from it.
And even though this is probably your little project, I mean, I don't take a lot of the photos. You take most of the, if not all the film photos. But I would like to try again in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe try my hand at it again and see if I can improve in any way.
It's definitely not it might be one of the most difficult first film cameras, I would say, from zero experience using any other ones, but yeah, definitely fun. Christine also got me a little film pack surprise thing for Christmas, so
I did.
I've got some more rolls to shoot.
Was that a secret or something? Why were you like saying it like this?
Just intriguing people. I'll not waste any more of your time. I know this has been a long one. It's one of those videos I put a lot of time into making, and
yeah,
I sort of only realized how, like, well, almost right at the start of the process of thinking about getting this, I was like, I should probably document all this, and I kind of wanted to make it into something that I sort of was proud of as a video. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a fun one to make. The whole process was just fun, and I have actually been shooting another roll in this thing over the past week or so, so that will be out quite soon as well. Quite excited about it too. So if you enjoyed this one, we'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Maybe consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to see more videos here on the channel. And is that it?
I think so.
As we always say, guys, take it easy.
Don't be a stranger. I'm just gonna hold that there for
Give you a
forever.
good thumbnail.
Well, there you have it. I got myself a film camera.
Yes, sir.